Welcome to Seattle Sports Union's Best of 2015 Award Show. It's been a great year here in the Emerald City, and for the next half an hour, Matt Page and I, Abraham DeWeese, are going to acknowledge the best players, the best coaches who stood out in 2015. With that said, let's get on with our first award, Matt.
All right, let's just dive right on in. First up, we've got the must-see game of the year. Now, our nominees for that category are the Seattle Seahawks with their NFC Championship win over the Green Bay Packers.
Legendary win, Matt. That was an overtime match and probably the best game I've ever seen as a Seahawks fan.
Absolutely. We have the Huskies with their 17-12 victory over USC in LA.
Huskies went down to LA. USC Trojans, they didn't think that we had it in us to win that game, but we did.
Absolutely. And finally, the Seattle Mariners, Hisashi Iwakuma's no-hitter.
A shining beacon in an otherwise blightful season. Love to see the Bear come through.
All good moments, but let's find out. And the winner is... the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game with a 28-22 overtime win. The Packers led with 16-0 at the half. Can you believe that?
My dad messaged me during the game, and he was ready to turn the TV off. And I kept telling my dad, there's nothing else to watch. It's the NFC Championship game. Dad, at least see it through the whole way.
Absolutely.
And it paid off.
It was without a doubt one of the greatest football games I've ever had a privilege to watch. The onside kick recovery, the overtime throw to Curse from 35 yards. It looked like he was not even covered at all. Didn't even get touched.
I thought the fundamental key to that game was that onside kick. They had their hands team. They had their Jordy Nelsons.
Oh, yeah.
They had their Randall Cobbs, and that ball bounced, and none of them could catch it. We came up with it. Chris Matthews, I know you're not with the team, but thank you for coming up with that onside kick.
Absolutely. So shall we move on to our second one?
Our second award here at Seattle Sports Union is Male Athlete of the Year. All right, Matt, we've got some contenders here. We have one outfielder named Nelson Cruz, 44 home runs last year.
He was out of his mind this past year. I mean, he was on a level on his own. He was incredible. Obviously, well worth the nomination.
A better team, and this would be an MVP candidate. We're taking a look at the next nominee, and that is one Obafemi Martins, number 9.
Obafemi was the heart and soul of the Sounders throughout the whole season. He was an MVP finalist for the MLS. He definitely deserves to be on this list.
And also, we have one Russell Wilson that was nominated.
You know, Russell Wilson kind of speaks for himself, you know. I mean, his performance the last couple games have been just lights out. He's out of his mind right now.
He just set a record, didn't he?
He absolutely did. First player ever to go 5 consecutive games with 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions.
All right, so
Very
Male
impressive.
Athlete of the Year. Your winner in 2015 here at Seattle Sports Union is Nelson Cruz. 44 home runs. Wow, I'm a little bit shocked.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that it would be Russell Wilson. But Nelson Cruz, like I said, you're looking at a 302 batting average. The gentleman would have been, like if you were on the Royals, MVP winner, no discussion.
I have to agree with you. I'm a little bit surprised at this choice, but, with Russell Wilson's recent play, but, Nelson Cruz absolutely deserved it in his own right. He was a force to be reckoned with this last year.
All right. Okay, we're going to move on to Female Athlete of the Year.
Female Athlete of the Year. Okay, the nominees for this one are Hope Solo from Seattle Reign and World Cup Championship team.
Oh, you bet. Hope Solo was simply dominant, one of the most dominant performances in the Women's World Cup or any World Cup that I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Danica Brace from the Seattle Mist. She was the LFL MVP.
She did very well on that football team. It's great that they're starting to get some recognition.
Absolutely. And finally, Sue Bird from the Seattle Storm. She was second in assists in the league and finished with a 12.3 points per game average.
You're looking at a woman who this may have been her last year. Hall of Fame career.
Absolutely, unquestioned. With that, let's find out who the winner is. Hope Solo with her World Cup win and her goalie defensive 540-minute shutout streak.
She won the Golden Gloves. That's not a boxing award, but that's the award for the best goalie in the World Cup. And she went 3 games without giving up a goal. And every other game after that, it was just 1 goal here, another goal there. Nothing that she did was anything less than magnificent.
Absolutely. I've never seen a better goalie in my life. I mean, she is dominant. That's really the only word for it. Unfortunately, there's no other word for that. I'm running out of dominant, out of synonyms. She's just amazing. Absolutely. So we'll move on to the Collegiate Athlete of the Year.
All right. Yeah, let's go on here with the Collegiate Athlete of the Year. We are looking at one quarterback for your University of Washington Huskies, true freshman Jake Browning.
Jake Browning has come along a long way. I'm not sure he's going to win this award, but I'm very happy to see him on this list. He's made enormous strides. He's a really great quarterback. You're going to hear his name on this list again next year, I'm sure.
Great to see the next nominee here, a woman from the University of Washington volleyball team, Liana Seibeldin. She was an All-American, third team.
Absolutely. They went to regionals, was it?
Yes.
She's definitely a big force on that team.
Bump, set, spike, right?
Bump, set, spike.
There we go. All right. Our last nominee is from Wazoo, one Luke Falk. He is the younger brother to the Falk sisters country music team.
We have a little bit of a quarterback-heavy list right here, but Luke Falk definitely out of his mind passing. He was the Pac-12 leading passer. He deserves to be on this list, without a doubt.
All right, and the winner is, if I can defeat this envelope, the winner is Luke Falk from the University of Washington State Cougars.
All right.
Washington State University Cougars. I said that right. He's 5th in the nation in passing yards with 4,266 yards, led the Pac-12 in passing.
Absolutely made a huge step up. I mean, this year, and congratulations to him. He really impressed everyone.
Matt, everybody said Connor Halliday. You can't replace Connor Halliday. Who's going to replace Connor Halliday? We know who replaced.
Luke Falk.
And
absolutely.
I'm going to tell you what. I think Heisman. If
he hadn't been hurt.
Yes, I think
if he hadn't gotten hurt, he would have been in the discussion.
Maybe a couple higher. Maybe not a loss to Portland State, but I mean next year, Heisman candidate in my opinion.
Very possible. Very possible.
What do we have next, Matt?
We have the most impressive newcomer.
Ooh.
So nominees are Thomas Rawls, running back for the Seattle Seahawks.
Out of Central Michigan University. Nobody drafted this guy.
Came out of nowhere.
Seahawks took him, and all he did was dominate.
Potentially the new heir for the Beast Mode. Number 2 on that list is Tyler Lockett.
He's too small, they said.
Yeah.
He's from a college where you don't get receivers, they said. They said he was overrated.
And that's a 3rd-round pick we are very happy that we made for the Seahawks.
All he does is make plays at the NFL level.
Absolutely. And then finally, Jake Browning from the quarterback for the Huskies again. He's made a couple of our lists.
You know, a lot of people said, you're crazy, Chris Peterson. Don't you dare put a true freshman. You have other people that you can put out there. Well, you know what? He put the true freshman out there, and all he did was get better week after week after week.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, the winner is Thomas Rawls.
Ooh, all right.
He's currently 10th in the rushing and the NFL with 830 yards, even though he didn't play this week, unfortunately.
You're talking about a kid who set a record for most yardage within the first 6 games of his career.
The sky is absolutely the limit for him. I'm very excited every time I see him run.
You're talking about a guy who has set the Seahawks single-game rushing record 3 times.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I mean, he gives the Seahawks the flexibility to maybe say goodbye to Beast Mode, unfortunately. But that'll be pretty exciting. So what do we have coming up next?
We now have the Coach of the Year. Your candidates are University of Washington Huskies head coach Chris Peterson.
Okay, Chris Peterson obviously is building a program there at UW. Has made enormous strides this year. The record may not fully reflect it, but defense has come along. Jake Browning has come along in a huge way. The Myles Gaskin, the running back, came out of nowhere, has really developed. There's a very, very good core there, and Chris Peterson is a huge reason why.
Our next nominee is from the Seattle Reign, one Laura Harvey.
She won the NWSL Coach of the Year honors for the Seattle Reign, and it's duly deserved, absolutely.
They also made it to the finals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they came
Not bad.
just within a whisper of winning that. Our last finalist is from Washington State University, one Pirate named Mike Leach.
Well, his offense has finally hit full stride this year. He's finally got some of the kids that he wants, and it's showing. It's absolutely showing. He's got the quarterback he finally needed, we like you were saying earlier, what were we gonna do without Connor Holiday? Next man up.
Next man up,
Yeah.
You bet. All right, and our winner is Mike Leach, the Pirate.
All right.
And Mike Leach took his team to an 8-4 record and are now in the Sun Bowl. Who would have thought that after losing to Portland State?
Well, not only that, they had very impressive wins against UCLA and Oregon this year.
Indeed.
Two very good teams, two very talented, and they handled them.
The sky's the ceiling next year. Or the sky's
The sky's the limit.
the limit the next year. Yes, sky's the ceiling. Well, it's kind of a ceiling. All right, next up we have what, Matt?
Executive of the Year.
Oh.
And the nominees, of course, are Gareth Ledgerway from the Sounders.
Great job by Ledgerway. A refugee from Real Salt Lake came in here and took a team that had very little depth at the beginning of the season and added to it during the season.
We also have Jerry DePoto from the Seattle Mariners.
DePoto, great to see you. We weren't a big fan of the last GM.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to see you come in and clean house.
And finally, John Schneider for the Seattle Seahawks.
If it's all about results, you're talking about 2 Super Bowls and you're talking about 4 straight playoff appearances.
Can't argue with those results. And the winner is Gareth Ledgerway, the Sounders.
Ledgerway's been doing an amazing job, Matt. He came in and he saw that the team was not doing well. A lot of injuries took out and eliminated the depth of this team. In the summer, he brought in Ramon Torres. He brought in Andreas Ivanschitz. He brought in Eric Freeberg, Nelson Valdez, and more. It was great to see that he recognized the problem and instantly fixed it.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's very impressive as a GM, and I look forward to seeing what he can produce for the Sounders in the future. So what do we have coming up next?
We have the most electrifying moment of 2015.
Ooh.
All right, our first moment is a Jermaine Kearse catch where the ball bounced from here to here to here to here, and he came down with it, and Malcolm Butler, who would later become the hero of the Super Bowl, did his best to defend it and could not stop it.
This was the play before the play we're not going to talk about.
Yes,
in
that's
the Super Bowl, of course.
Right. But Malcolm Butler was covering
But
Jermaine Kearse,
this is the play that made it possible.
and he covered him well.
Oh, he did. No, he was incredibly. It's the craziest catch I've ever seen, probably.
Insane. Our next most electrifying moment was the Hisashi Iwakuma, the Bear, his no-hitter.
It was incredible to watch. It wasn't really a moment per se. It was 2 hours long, but
It was a 2-hour moment.
It was a 2-hour moment, and we were real happy to see. My favorite part about it was watching Felix run out on the field wearing the
bear
Kuma hat, and just overjoyed for his teammate.
That was really hilarious. I enjoyed that too.
That was a good moment.
Our third nominee for most electrifying moment was the NFC Championship game where the Seahawks defeated the Packers. That onside kick that was necessary to make it all happen.
That was insane. The tight end wasn't even supposed to catch it, and he dropped it. and then he lost his job the next day for reasons that are pretty obvious. As Jordy Nelson was right behind him.
NFL, Matt, stands for?
No Fun League?
Well, I was, okay. Specifically with the tight end, not for long.
Not for long.
Not for long.
All right.
And our winner, the winner for the most electrifying moment, is the NFC Championship game in the onside kick.
All right. That was absolutely electrifying. It got us back in the game and gave us a chance to actually to go ahead in that game.
Yeah, there were a lot of electrifying moments, and I guess that's the most exciting one from that exciting game. I just want to say this. I mean, you could have given this award also to, that German curse touchdown in overtime. You could have given it to, Luke Wilson and Russell Wilson hooking up on that two-point conversion.
Yeah.
Oh, there were tons of them.
Marshawn Lynch running for the 24-yard touchdown after this onside kick, getting us in position.
All right, Matt, what's our next category?
Okay, we've got the most impressive team, our second to last category. Most impressive team, our nominees are University of Washington Crew with their fifth straight national title.
I don't know. Like in any other sport, you're talking about front page coverage.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see these guys are on there.
Absolutely. Seattle Reign FC with their getting of the NWSL Shield.
Best regular season record, dominant in their performance. Wish they could have got the cup, but a shield means quite a bit in soccer. It means you're the best team of the season.
Absolutely. And finally, the Seattle Mist with their LFL championship.
Another women's team on here. Good to see them on the list. Another championship contender.
Absolutely. All right. And the winner is? UW Crew with that fifth straight title, of course.
5 straight titles. Again, take any sport you want. It can be tiddlywinks. It could be darts. In this case, it's crew, a sport that is actually one of the hardest sports to play out there.
They're non-scholarship. They have to get up at about 4 o'clock in the morning in order to practice because that's when the water is smooth enough for them to try there at Montlake. The dedication it takes and 5 straight national championships. I mean, wow.
What's amazing is, they had the Windermere Cup this year, and they were beating like teams from England, those legendary teams like Oxford, not Yale, but Cambridge, stuff like that. Fantastic to see them get their due.
All right, and then finally, as our editor-in-chief for Seattle Sports Union. I'm sorry, we've recently changed our name from Seattle Side Up. I almost said it right there. Seattle Sports Union, as our editor-in-chief, Abraham DeWeese here, is going to read our a little bit of a self-serving award. It's the SSU Award for the greatest article this year.
The greatest article this year. The best in 2015. Your contenders are, well, my own article. It's called, If You're Against Klinsmann, Then You Accept Mediocrity.
Don't worry, he's not biased by naming his own article or anything. No,
I did not get any vote on this particular article, so this will actually be a surprise. The next nomination is actually Matt Page's article, An Open Letter to Howard Lincoln.
Discussing how we're going to make a move and get a new GM. And then he followed my advice, but not with my suggested personnel.
And your final nominee is Team Identity and Why It Matters from one Richard Michelson.
A great article explaining everything right there in the title. Why team identity matters. Why everyone needs to know who you are, what it's important for.
Excellent. All right, the winner of the SSU Awards, Seattle Sports Union's Best Article of the Year, is Matt Page. An Open Letter to Howard Lincoln. I'm joking. That was actually a very good article. Matt Page, you did a fantastic job as the managing editor of our baseball team.
Thank you.
What were you thinking when you wrote this article?
I'd had enough of mediocrity in the GM position. I've had enough of the yes men in the front office, and I wanted someone to come in and clean house. Absolutely do basically pretty much exactly what Jerry Dipoto is doing right now. Get rid of all the scouting staff, the player evaluation staff, and just start fresh. There was a lot of dead wood that just needed to be cut out.
To see Matt Page's article, go ahead and go to seattlesportsunion.com. You can either type in the search field, open letter to Howard Lincoln, or you can click on Matt Page's articles. It'll come right up. Well, that's about all the time we have today, Matt.
Yeah, was a great year for Seattle sports here in the Emerald City. I'm looking forward to another great year, 2016.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on this show. We will catch you every 8 o'clock. Every
Sunday
night at 8 o'clock
Pacific
for SSU Live. And check us out on YouTube for other great content. Check us out at seattlesportsunion.com for all our great commentary. And check us out on Twitter at Seattle Sports U.